This morning on DC News Now, Charlie Kirk's widow speaking publicly for the first time since her husband was shot and killed at a Utah college. Her message to the country. And then big changes coming to Friday night football across the district. The new rules you'll need to follow if you want to catch a game this season. And no sleep tonight. Businesses and artists across the district are gearing up to pull an all-nighter. The district-wide festival bringing you art and entertainment all night.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Good morning and thanks so much for joining us on DC News Now. I'm Marielle Carbone. Joseph Achille has the morning off. Well, we want to take a live look outside right now on this Saturday morning. You can see the sun starting to come up over the Washington Monument there. Expected to be a beautiful day out there. So we want to check right in with meteorologist Jackie Layer, who's joining us this morning with an in-depth look at your weekend forecast. Hi, Jackie.
Well, we had really beautiful weather to wrap up the work week, and now we're starting off the weekend really nice out there. So if you do have those brunch plans, get outside and enjoy it. We'll be bright and mild by 9 o'clock in the morning. Temperatures middle 60s, back in those middle 70s with that sunshine still by 11 a.m. and by the middle of the afternoon, or at least by 1 p.m. Right around 80 degrees expected by that point, but we'll see high temperatures bouncing back just a touch warmer than what we had out there for your Friday. High temperatures for your Saturday afternoon, 84 degrees in D.C., just a little bit warmer. Hagerstown, Martinsburg into those upper 80s and those low to mid 80s, even back out towards the Shenandoah Valley, even down towards Fredericksburg, a high of 84 as well. So we're tracking the sunshine out there to start off the weekend for your Saturday. Sunday, a few more clouds strolling in. We do have this cold front diving in, but it's a weak cold front, so not producing any rainfall, but at least we're going to be tracking still that sunshine mixed out there with temperatures mid upper 80s expected for the day tomorrow. But more details and look at towards the rest of that 7-day forecast, and we finally see some rain back in the forecast coming up.
All right, Jackie, thank you. New this morning, police responded to a shooting near Edmondson Court and Spring Hill Terrace in Greenbelt. Now, when police arrived at the scene, they found a man shot. He was later taken to a nearby hospital. The Greenbelt police are still conducting a search of the area, assisted by the U.S. Park Police helicopter. And Friday night football, it will look a bit different in the district. DC Public Schools are rolling out new security rules for high school football. It is all because of some recent fights breaking out at games. Our Yamari Sase has the latest.
I think it's great to do that because it'll keep down the fights and everybody will feel comfortable coming to the game.
Parents and teachers applauding the new rules at DC Public School football games.
You just never know what's going to happen, so an adult being accompanied with them is probably the best thing.
The changes come after reports of students fighting at the games.
I was here at a game before when a fight broke out and the little kids were scared, you know, and it had nothing to do with the game. So I think safety purposes, you know, I'm with it.
Talking to my cheerleaders and everything else, we always worry about if there's going to be a fight that breaks out or something.
DC State Athletic Association's new policy for fans attending games include students must have an adult chaperone with no more than 3 students per adult. No re-entry, separate seating for home and away fans. Games will be moved to earlier times, and extra staffing and security will be on hand. Now, some parents do have concerns, especially with games being played earlier.
Some parents don't get off until, you know, 4 or 5 where they can come to the 6 or 7 games. You know, us parents want to support our kids.
And others worry students may miss out on the experience.
Hopefully they might make some changes to it to accommodate the students that cannot get here with a parent.
Many recognize the difference at Roosevelt High School's Friday night game.
It's definitely smaller. It's comfortable. I feel safer.
Now, these changes, they will last through the end of the season, but one big question is if students are already 18, do they count as a chaperone? DCPS hasn't answered that question yet, and we are still working to get some clarity there. Well, we are following developing news. Charlie Kirk's widow speaking publicly for the first time since her husband was shot and killed at a Utah college. Now, an emotional Erica Kirk saying she doesn't remember the last time she slept. She spoke from Charlie's office at Turning Point USA, a conservative youth organization that Kirk co-founded. She also thanked President Trump and the vice president for all they've done over the last 3 days. Erica saying this act of violence should not deter anyone from standing up for what they believe in.
He never gave up. And I love knowing that one of his mottos was never surrender. So I want to tell you that we'll never surrender. We never will. Ever. ever. Nobody is ever too young to get involved with saving this beautiful country, this country my husband loved and still loves. And nobody is ever too old either. There's no age limit.
A suspect is in custody. The feds say the gunman's family helped to end the manhunt. They say Tyler Robinson's father recognized him from the images the FBI released and encouraged him to turn himself in. Investigators in Utah taking the 22-year-old into custody Thursday night. According to Utah's governor, Robinson's family says he had been critical of Kirk, saying he was full of hate and spreading hate. We'll have more on his arrest ahead in our next half hour. And the issue of freedom of speech is again being debated since the murder of Charlie Kirk. Prince George's County police officer is on leave while investigators look into social media posts he reportedly made. Officer Adam Molake is facing an internal investigation accused of writing about Kirk's death. There have been screenshots circulating online since Thursday, and it has people talking.
He had freedom of speech. He didn't say anything hateful. He didn't say anything derogatory or even threatening. He just stated his opinion.
I don't think anyone should be fired over like just talking about your opinions. Honestly, in any topic, it's understandable if you didn't like someone. That's fine. Everybody has their own opinions.
Prince George's County Police say Officer Molake remains on administrative leave. And we have continuing coverage of the death of Charlie Kirk on our website. That is dcnewsnow.com. There you can find information about the suspect's arrest and the impact of Kirk's death. And we have an update on the lockdown at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis. Navy officials say a false report of an active shooter led to 2 people hurt on campus Thursday night. Now, a spokesperson for the base says while security was clearing a building, a midshipman was shot in the shoulder. He was taken to a hospital and was released Friday. A member of the Naval Security Force had minor injuries. And in the district, police are searching for the person they say broke into a home, stole items, and then ran off. You can see him here on your screen. A surveillance camera caught the suspect outside the home on 1st and P Street in Southwest, which is just a few blocks from Nats Park. Now, police did not say what items were stolen, but if you know anything about the incident, DC police want to hear from you. And in Virginia, a man is in the hospital with serious injuries following a motorcycle crash in Oak Hill. Now, Fairfax County police say the crash happened at Fairfax County Parkway in Oak Hill Friday afternoon. They say only the motorcyclist was involved in the crash, and they have not yet said what caused it. And there are new departure times for 9 Metro bus routes in Prince George's County this weekend. WMATA said it is the first phase of changes since launching its new bus network in June, and it's aimed at improving on-time performance and expanding services. Now, the changes impact 9 P routes and start Sunday. For a full list of the line changes, you can go to our website. That is dcnewsnow.com and search Metro Bus. And a heads up for drivers in the Northern Virginia area. There are some lane closures near the Pentagon this weekend. VDOT says 2 lanes will be closed at a time for 395 North from the bridge over South Fern Street to the bridge over the Richmond Highway. The left lanes closed last night into this morning, and the 2 right lanes closed from Saturday night into Sunday. And take a look up into the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. No, it is both. The Air Force Thunderbirds, they are in town this weekend for the Joint Base Andrews Air Show. And you may have seen the Thunderbirds in spectacular formation over the National Mall Friday morning. DC News Now's Liberty Simmons tells us how you can catch more of the action.
You may be able to hear the roar of the jets behind me. Military aviators are putting on quite the show. They're giving students a sneak peek before the air show kicks off this weekend.
Fly high, airmen.
The legendary Air Force Thunderbirds took flight over the National Mall this morning for a formation photo shoot above the national monuments.
I'm thinking about how much time they've practiced to do this and how much skill they need to do it.
Elite pilots on base are showcasing military air power today for 2,500 students across the DMV.
I've explored a lot of different areas of STEM regarding like the aerospace stuff. To have awesome planes flying around the background of it, you couldn't ask for much more.
These kids are getting hands-on learning with exhibits encouraging careers in science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, or even military aviation.
I'd like to be a fighter pilot.
This weekend, families can catch some of the best pilots in the world wow crowds with gravity-defying moves.
As somebody who I would want to be in that seat one day, it's super inspiring to me.
Guests will also get to see performances from the Thunderbirds, U.S. Army Golden Knights, and more, pushing the limits of aviation to inspire the next generation.
Knowing that that next generation is going to follow in our footsteps and hopefully just inspire the next generation, it's a huge privilege for me to be here.
If you want to head to the air show this weekend, just remember admission is free, and there's also free parking available for guests at Northwest Stadium with free shuttle rides to base, and gates open at 9 in the morning. For now, from Joint Base Andrews, Liberty Simmons, DC News Now.
Liberty, thank you. A new development in Southeast D.C. giving more families the opportunity to own a home. The Anna townhomes are just steps from the Anacostia Metro Station in Ward 8. The city says of the 20 townhomes, most are targeted towards workforce housing. Those are for middle-income workers like teachers and nurses who own too much for traditional affordable housing but still struggle to buy a home. The mayor says 6 units are designed for those earning between $76,000 and $121,000.
It's my commitment when I started that it was more and more DC residents that I wanted to encourage to buy homes in DC, and I'm very proud that so many have been able to do it. We've set the goal of 36,000 new units by 2025, and we met that goal in 2024. Some thought it was too ambitious.
And this is a $1.6 million investment from the D.C. Housing Finance Agency and the Housing Investment Platform. The lot where crews are building the homes was previously vacant. And the time, it is now 7.